So after years of playing acoustic guitar, I wanted to look into learning how to play lead solos on an electric guitar, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I'm always interested in the kinds of bargains you can get. So I found this Rockjam electric guitar. It's a Strat copy, as you can see, along with a 10-watt amplifier, a cord, a spare set of strings, and two little Allen wrenches that you use to set it up. The question is, how good is it? So I've got to say, straight out of the box, it didn't play really well. Didn't intonate very well. The string action was a little weak, a little high, and there were some other issues like that. So let me tell you what I did. And right now, this is my first video. I'll see if I go through all the others, but you can use YouTube to get good advice on how to do all the other things that I'm going to show you that I did. And if you're a parent or a grandparent or an uncle or something like that, this is a great project to have with a young kid, you know, an 8, 10, 12-year-old. Really teach them about the workings of the electric guitar, as well as to have a little bonding time. So anyhow, issue number one. First thing you want to do is make sure that the neck is pretty much dead straight. You want the most minor little bow in there. What most of the people tell you to do is you lay a capo on the first fret, you hold down the top fret, and you see if there's just, you can barely ding, ding, ding with your finger to see how straight it is. At any rate, I put my cheaters on, my glasses, and I could see a gap between the strings at this 7th fret. So you capo the first fret, you hold down the string on the top fret, and you see if you can see a gap right there at the 7th fret. If you can, what you do is you take the included Allen wrench, you put it right in that little slot right there, and just a quarter of a turn at a time. So pull it towards the D string, the 4th string. So if you're flattening out the neck, it's too curved, you're going to go towards the D string, give it 10-15 minutes to settle, bang on the guitar, not bang, play the guitar a little bit, and then do it again. You're going to find you're going to have to retune the guitar every time. But until you get the neck straight, you're not going to be able to do anything with any kind of accuracy. So step number one, get the neck nice and straight. Step number two, there's this technique called a floating tremolo. So this guitar comes with a tremolo, some people call it a whammy bar. And the standard setup out of the factory is that you can only move the pitch down. Now, a floating tremolo just means that you can move the pitch up as well as down. That got popular, I think, with the Bixby tremolos. So what you do is, when you take the back of the guitar off, you'll see some strings that you can use to access that. And Daryl Braun, for example, on YouTube does a great setup on how to set up a floating trem on a Strat. So I did that. So now I've got a floating trem. So that's pretty cool. Next thing you want to do is make sure that the nut slots, so this is the nut right here where the strings pass through. You want to make sure that those slots are angled at about a 45-degree angle towards the tuning pegs, and that makes sure that the strings break cleanly right at the very front of the nut. So you don't want them flat, you want them angled downwards. And an easy way to do that, if you have feeler gauges, you can cut a couple notches in the feeler gauges and do that. Or again, on a Daryl Braun video, what he did, what I ended up doing, is you use your strings, just loosen the strings, and you pull them back and forth at that little bit of an angle right there in the nut slot, and that will get that going. So now you've got the neck straight, you've got the nut slots cut, you've got a floating trem going. The next thing you're going to do is use the little Allen wrench that they include with you. I mean, little, right? And you're going to adjust the string height using the Allen wrench. Now, I found that several of the string guides down here, one leg had been screwed in shorter or longer than the other one, so the thing was wonky. So the first thing I did was I got them flat, and then I adjusted the strings until a point where You can adjust the string height down until you hear buzzing, and then just bring it up a little bit. That was the easiest thing for me. And again, you're going to need to retune every time, because with the floating trem, the system's very sensitive to the pressure of the various strings. So you loosen one string, everything goes slightly out of tune. That's a normal thing. So anyhow, I got the string heights set. So then once you get the string heights set, the next thing you're going to do is intonate, big word, and all that means is you set the distance for each string down here. There's a little screw for each string, and basically what you do is you play an open string, and then you play at the 12th fret, and you use your tuner to determine whether you're out of tune at the 12th fret. If you are out of tune at the 12th fret, if you're a little flat on the 12th fret, you move the screwdriver thing, the screwy thing, towards the guitar, so forward. If it's sharp, you move it back. And so you get your strings intonated. The last thing that I did is I found that once I had everything set up, in fact, the string height was too high way up here at the top. So as I was playing leads up above the octave, up above that 12th, the strings were too high. So it turns out I had to shim the bridge, shim the neck. And so again, there are tons of YouTube videos on that. And for example, Stu Mack sells pre-made wood shims, a 3-pack for $30-some. Well, you're not going to spend $30 on a guitar you spent $70, $85 for, something like that. That doesn't make sense. So what I did, and this worked really well, believe it or not, took some tin foil, folded it in half, cut it so it fit into the slot, and it took 3 of those double pieces of tin foil. One went 3/4 of the way in this slot, one went halfway, one went 1/4 away. That was exactly what it took to get this neck nice and straight through the whole guitar. And again, this neck bolts on. Strats are designed so that you can shim the neck. And again, with tin foil, you can get crazy accurate. I mean, if I'd really gone crazy, I could have done it one thin sheet at a time and gotten it perfect. But I got it as close to perfect as you need to get with the guitar. So anyhow, plugged everything in. Now this is just going straight through the amp with the cord that they gave you. There's nothing wrong with the cord. There's really nothing wrong with the amp. The amp will fill the room with sound. I'm sitting in a little office here in my house, and I've got the guitar at about half volume. I've got the amp at about a third volume, and that's plenty loud. You know, any louder than that, and all I can do is annoy my wife, which is not a goal. So anyhow, is this worth it? Heck yeah. So Rockjam, I think I paid a little less than $80 from Amazon shipped, and that came with the guitar, spare set of strings. I got to tell you, the strings that ship with, the strings on the guitar and the strings they ship with are not good strings. So I got a nice set of D'Addario strings. I actually bought a 3-pack for around $10 and used those once I got the guitar set up. But this thing holds its tune. It sounds amazing. I mean, look, first position. Oops. Second position. Third position. Yeah, I know I missed a couple notes there, folks. Fourth position. And fifth position. So you get all that strat flexibility. So the positions, basically first position that I called it, you're on your neck pickup, and then you're using your neck and your mid pickup together. Third position, you're just on the mid pickup. Fourth position, you're using those 2 pickups. In fifth position, you're using your bridge pickup, neck pickup, bridge pickup. This is a ridiculous value. I mean, when I was a kid and I got my first guitar, an electric guitar without an amp would have been $150, $175. So this kind of a package today is amazing. As I said, if you're a parent or an uncle or a grandparent, this is a great project for you to work with a kid. There are YouTube videos on all these things, and if I get sufficiently motivated, I'll make my own YouTube videos. But this Rockjam is a heck of a deal, and if you can afford, a little under $100. That's great. Plus it comes, by the way, with 2 free months of online lessons. I'm going to be signing up for those shortly, but that's a great way to get started. And of course, there are lots of good YouTube videos as well. So I hope you felt this review is useful, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.